Jean looked apologetic. I'm afraid so, she admitted. Like I said, they'll probably double your pay as a way of apologizing for messing this up. Jack nodded. I certainly hope so, he said as he bleakly surveyed the grossly oversized crib, changing table, high chair, and the generally childish appearance of the room. What exactly do I have to do? Well, basically you'll be wearing the clothes in the dresser and table and filling out various forms about how they look and feel, and, Jean winced a little, using the furniture. It took a few moments for the implication to sink in. You mean I have to sleep in the crib? I'm afraid so. He sighed. Well, at least none of my friends are here to see me do this. Anything else? Well, you'll be eating in the high chair and drinking out of bottles, plus you'll be wearing diapers the entire time you're here. Jack looked at Jean. Please be kidding. I'm afraid not, John. They're being tested as well. John put a hand to his eyes for a few moments. They had better pay me very, very well for this, he grumbled. I'll see to it that they're duly notified that you're doing this willingly, but under protest. I'm sure that will get their attention, considering how you were effectively misled, Jean said, attempting to be soothing. Thank you. I suppose I can't ask for much more, Jack mused. I suppose I'll just have to make the best of it. Jean smiled warmly. I'm glad you're thinking that way, John. It will make this entire week go a lot more smoothly. Jack only nodded. Well, I have to go and speak to another volunteer. I'll let you get acquainted with your surroundings a bit before we get things started. Dinner will be in about an hour. Under the circumstances, I think we'll wait until tomorrow to use the high chair. Jack smiled gratefully. Thanks. Jean smiled and left the room. John put his backpack and duffel by the dresser and began to investigate the various furnishings. I guess this won't be too bad, he said aloud. They had at least provided him with a CD player, so he wouldn't have to rely on his iPod for all his musical needs, even though he could if he needed to. There wasn't a computer, but he hoped there would at least be more to do than test these products all week. Eventually, he sat down in a convenient, non-childish rocking chair and returned to his iPod and its musical stores while tipping back and forth on the rocker arms. It was actually rather relaxing. Relaxing, that is, until Jean came back and informed him that it was time to dress for dinner. Dress for dinner, he asked cautiously. Yes, John. A diaper, and a onacy, and then you'll meet the other volunteer for this week's project, who was also as uninformed as you were. John shrugged. Well, I suppose I had to start sooner or later. He went to the dresser and took out a blue onacy and then selected a diaper from the changing table, and looked at Jean. Can I do this privately? Jean's face took on an apologetic expression. I'm afraid not. See. I actually have to diaper and dress you. Oh come on, Jack groused. That's how it works, John. But don't worry, I've been a nurse for 30 years, I know what I'm doing and this will be quick and painless if you just let me do my job. Jack looked around as if seeking escape, took some time to gather his thoughts, and then sighed in reluctant defeat. Fine. All right, go ahead and undress, Jean said and took the diaper and onacy from John's hands. John blushed and did so, stopping at his boxers. Jean turned back and casually motioned him onto the changing table. I must congratulate you, though, Jean said as she arranged the changing supplies and put on a pair of examination gloves. You weren't as resistant as the other volunteer, and she's a girl.